Welcome, everybody, back to the A Show Network, and we are here with a very special guest. I'm, of course, first of all, Meelz. I am here with Cyrus himself. Cyrus, say what's up to the world.
Hey man, I'm so glad to be here.
We're here, and we have a very special guest on the show. This is someone, he's someone, first of all, who's going to be competing for the NXT Championship this Saturday, September 30th at 8 p.m. NXT No Mercy, where you can catch on Peacock. You can also see him every Tuesday on USA Network, every episode of NXT, which is honestly our favorite show, to be real with you. We
Yes.
watch this show. We watch this show in our Discord. It is a great time. It is an amazing time. Like, we literally go back and forth. Ooh, hold on. We literally go back and forth with. I'm gonna wait for them to pass by first. We literally go back and forth on how much we enjoy this show, but we have none other than the man who, to be honest with you, we have this thing. Carmelo says he doesn't miss. This man right here does not miss at all. Like, he has not had a bad. I have
Never,
not.
never.
I have not seen a bad match out of this man thus far. We have Ilja Dragunov on the A Show Network. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Good day, gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course, man. Of course. First of all, I want to ask you this question. I'm not sure if anyone has asked it thus far. I'm not sure. This is the elephant in the room. I'm not sure if anything. You got to explain the goatee. Where did the goatee come from? I feel like one day you disappeared. You didn't have a beard. You came back with a beard. Could you have always grown a beard? Could you have never grown a beard until this year? I need the explanation.
I didn't think it was actually possible because I never actually tried it. But the explanation is very easy. The last man standing match in Boston against Dijak, I had a cut underneath my chin at the end, and I couldn't shave myself. So I could not shave myself for a while because it would look like just ridiculous. And I just saw how it just grows, and I thought like, well, let's give it a try. Let's give the Mad Dragon another layer. And since then, it kept coming.
It looks great, man. It's a different look for and I remember specifically that bruise on your chin, and I was like, I don't know how is it still there? Like, is there a scar still there?
No. It went away like very well.
Okay, all right. Well, listen, they have the good you, the evil you, one with a beard, one without a beard. We love it over here.
Switching gears from facial hair talk, since I don't really have much. Um, you wrestled A show favorite Trick Williams in a fantastic match, and I just wanted to ask, how did you feel getting that next level, that different side of Trick Williams, kind of elevating his his stock and his character?
It is still until today one of my very much favorite performances for NXT. I must say that because it is we had so many moments in the match where I thought how a person can be that over. Like the people were suffering with him together. And just moments where he kind of like I beat like everything out of him. Like I gave him so much pressure. I pushed him so hard. But just like moments where he was just rising in the corner. I remember this moment. He was just rising in the corner with his last breath and like all done and wasted, and he was kind of like getting up in the corner, and just the people were exploding behind him. It was amazing. And when he didn't, when he came back, and when he kind of like got on the drive and pulled out some real fire, I thought, how is that possible? Like how can be a person that over? And he really impressed. So he really impressed me in this match, and he showed. I think he definitely also realized that he has a different side inside of him, besides some being still charismatic, but sometimes just the funny persona that he is. But just discovering this side, it's gonna help him on his career to get even more successful than he probably will be either way.
I agree. So glad that you guys had that match together and you were able to just show everybody the special talent that we all always felt that he could be. So I'm
Yes.
glad that's to be out in the open. Something else that was very out in the open is Booker T's thoughts on you and just a lot of praise of your character. How does that feel to have a WWE Hall of Famer just be so, over the moon about you, to say the least?
Well, this is like if you actually really take a step back and think about things like that, it is like, of course, it's absolutely amazing. Like sometimes I forget in which environment I'm actually compared to those years when I was just about to start, when I started the training for all of this, when I had my first matches and experiences, like even before WWE times, like all those. I think meanwhile they're like 11 years I'm doing this profession, and just like yeah, I see more often, like just work wise, but just like realizing this person has such an opinion about me, where he used to be a person that I actually some on certain days just saw on television. It is sometimes living in this industry is very surreal.
All right. Do you talk to Booker a lot? Is there any relationship there, or he just came out of nowhere with the with the compliments?
No, we talked a couple of times. I mean, we started to talk more since I mean like since I came regularly to NXT and I moved to the States. I was getting like somehow more and more and more communication in between, like yeah, uh, and then just reading what his thoughts on me are. Especially, yes, I had some thoughts that I explicit are my goals that I have. Like he wrote, for example, that I make people feel something, and this is exactly something I want to do. This is like my my purpose before any performance. Doesn't matter if a match or promo or whatever. I want those people to feel something. If they don't feel something, I didn't accomplish what I wanted to. And then he specifically points that out. Well, this is especially with him being him. Like this
Yeah.
is sometimes too crazy to believe. Like,
Absolutely,
All right.
man. Listen, man, talking in terms of feeling something, you had an anecdote that I've seen. I think it was on Out of Character. That really put things in perspective for me with you as a character. And you kind of talked about your love for anime. And it really, to be honest with you, there was nothing that, as for me, someone who loves anime as well, there was nothing in me that made more sense. I was like, oh, I completely get. I feel like I get you more now. I feel like I get your passion, your intensity, your willingness to make people feel things. I would love to know if there's any anime that's inspired you. I would love to know if there's anything that you currently watch or anything that you said that you listen to the music. I would love to know kind of like your dabble. I've talked with Ricochet before. Ricochet is also a lover of anime. There's a couple more people on the roster. What say you? Like, what are you into?
I must say, like, of course, if I talk about anime that majorly inspired me, there was definitely Naruto. Naruto is like a classic. What do you want to say? Like,
Right.
it's a classic. Like, and just like for the persona I am in the ring, if you just look at the Rock Lee and Gara fight, I mean,
Mm,
Mhm.
that
classic.
was like human will. Like this is the one of the best fights you will ever see. Like I don't know what to say. Like this gets me every single time, and just this sheer will, like just this topic of sheer will, like against all odds, and doesn't matter how bad it looks like, doesn't matter how the people are against you, and even if you're less skilled. I'm a huge fan of underdogs. Like if you are even less skilled, it's even harder to succeed. And this fight inspired me very much. But it's just everything around Naruto is very inspiring to me. And currently, I am watching My Hero Academia, and oh my, just certain performances just are amazing. I think I saw like the last fight I saw on that one was like something with Red Riot, which was my goodness, like what this person could take. And it just inspired me again because I was thinking like as long as you have this uh, right amount of vulnerability, people feel sympathy for you. Not
Absolutely.
too much, not in a unrealistic and pseudo heroic way, but just the right amount. Just the right amount between all those toughness, the right amount of vulnerability. Everybody gonna believe you.
Absolutely. Well, listen, you definitely you affirmed as becoming my favorite wrestler of all time because that is my favorite anime. Oh my God. So that was awesome. Have another question for you. This is completely kind of changing gears, and this is more so the stuff that happened at the end of the year. A little bit earlier in the year. I mean, since you've come to NXT, I think people have always wondered, like, this guy is skilled. This guy is amazing. And while NXT is a great, ground for like, wrestling and character building and like all these other elements, because literally we watch Tuesday and we're enthralled it's always something, whether it's your segment, whether it's a segment after you, whether it's a segment that earlier this year, there was the WWE draft, and there was actually some rumors that maybe you would move somewhere in the WWE draft. People were saying like SmackDown or something. Did you hear any of those rumors? And like, what came to kind of like mind? Is there not necessarily the expectation to move, but like, is there something that stirs in you if you hear any of those rumors? And if you did move, which brand would you prefer?
I think like so which question do I answer first? I of course I check like I check like notifications on Twitter and everything. I check what people are talking about because of course sometimes people write something and I also want to have like certain proof to my work. I mean like if if certain people react exactly the way I want it to, I know what the stuff I do works, and just to see like the tendency of everything in general. And of course the draft was a big deal, and I read about the rumors, but just like this is nothing like I'm not in a rush. If I'm gonna be completely honest, like why should I? Then what the things that need to happen will happen someday eventually. But I'm so fulfilled to be completely surrounded by my work day in and day out, having all those great challenges and possibilities to prove myself like I did already since I came back to NXT. Like I had all the opportunities and I think I used them all entirely in the way I would use them. And just right now to be my head stuck with, okay, I want to go, like, I want to get called up. It would take away so much from the fun and the passion and the inspiration I get at the moment. That's just not worth it to, I just like to live in the moment. And brand wise, I would, if it happens, like my preference would be SmackDown, just because it has been the first show I ever like first match I ever seen in my life from WWE was SmackDown,
Ooh,
and
wait. What was
really
what was the first match? I'll share my first match that I've ever saw. Well, the first WWE match that I ever saw. If you share the first match you ever saw on SmackDown.
the first match I ever saw, and I hope everything is correct in this sense. So I don't get anything twisted. Was Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio.
Mm.
That was like a SmackDown match.
It's a SmackDown. It's definitely SmackDown. They had the rematch on SmackDown for sure.
I don't know which year. I don't know which year that was, but I definitely saw that match, and I very, very, very sure it was SmackDown.
Okay. The first WWE match I ever saw was Ken Shamrock versus Steve Blackman in a Lions Den match.
Having the first match is insane.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, right. And nothing, by the way, that's like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. Like you have a Lions Den match from now and then, but like, or a brawl or whatever it is, but like that kind of like sold me on WWE. So that's awesome to hear it from you in your first match you ever saw too.
Yeah, yeah. It is something just I remember until this day because everything kind of like getting into this crazy world was kind of like an accident for me.
Mm.
Okay. Final question, just to cap this off. You are a big fan, like we are big fans of you, obviously, and it's due to your very extremely violent moveset. Um, how did you come up with this moveset to just really just propel your body at your opponent and your finisher where you just come down on them with all your force?
Well, that's a good question. I try to think very simplistic. So I try always to think about things not too complicated, things I can do with everyone, things I entirely not rely on my opponent. So and things that are organic. Yeah, like if
Yes,
I need to,
organic.
if I need to throw a person, also that are totally me, because I'm not the tallest or the heaviest, so I'm not gonna, most likely not gonna throw a person into the air, let him twist 3 times and let him fall down after this. I just need something that is entirely me, like, and throwing myself into a person with my whole body, with where I just like strike him down. This is like entirely me. Like if it's like the torpedo, or it's the H bomb, or like the like this stuff is just me, you know.
Are you like, we equate this, we have this discussion, we've had it on the show, like your move, and I don't want to, we're not promoting kids to do this, but if I was a kid, I would love your moves. Like that would be awesome. Like you don't understand. Like I don't know if you've ever realized this, but you have I think you have probably one of the most fun ones that I've ever seen, because there is a simplicity to it and also a naturalness and organicness that comes to it, but it also looks fun to do, to be honest with you. You saw what you did to Dijak, and that looked, as horrible as that looked awesome to do.
It is. I mean, like that's what I'm talking about. Like if you do things that are not too complicated to execute, and first of all, it's much easier to bring variety into this, to bring it from different
Mhm.
positions, from different moments, and especially if those moves are easier to execute, you can create wonderful camera shots from that. You can see it from different perspectives, and you can just play with them. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, as more organic something is, and as more simple something is, the more you can play around with different versions of this, and always find another layer to even like the move. You know?
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us, by the way. This has been amazing. It's been great to talk to you. Knowing you're my hero fan is just, listen, man. Um, thank you guys. Of course, you can tune in NXT No Mercy this Saturday, September 30th, 8 p.m. on Peacock. And you can also watch this man Tuesdays, every Tuesday, NXT on USA Network. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back with more of the A Show up next.